like this going to be somebody's wife if they are too lazy to work around the house. And the thing about keeping a house clean is the word keeping the house clean. You should not have to clean the house every day. You should keep the house clean. That means the house should look a certain way every single day. You know why? Because you clean up behind yourself. You keep the house from becoming a mess. And the thing is, a lot of Western women don't understand that concept. And they don't understand that concept because they're too busy trying to get into these gender war back and forth with men about what they're not gonna do or what they gonna do, instead of them looking at the fact that not a lot of men these days are looking to wife up women like that. Not in no serious long-term relationship. Maybe as far as a casual friends with benefits type situation, you might be a side piece because then you don't have to worry about him coming home to your house because he ain't gonna be there except for maybe once a week and not on the holidays. So a lot of these women don't understand the side chick energy that they give off with all this. I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna do that. On his day off, he should be cleaning up the house and cooking, not me. You're giving off a lot of side chick energy. And that's why a lot of women are being put in that side chick category because of the side chick energy they're giving off. And they don't understand that they're giving off the side chick energy, which keeps men from wanting to wife them up. These men get with these women, lie to them, sleep with them, and then when they get bored with them, they leave them. And they don't understand why. It's because you're giving off a lot of side chick energy. You show that you don't have what it takes to be a capable wife and homemaker, right? So you're being put in a category of a side piece. You're being put in a category of a one night stand jump off. And a lot of guys don't see you as a long-term option for a relationship. They don't. But you have these entitled women like this, like in the video, who you can tell has probably gotten by based on her looks. Now, she may not look, a perfect 10 in this video, but I'm pretty sure when she's dolled up and you see her, body or whatever, she probably has been able to get boyfriends regardless. So she tends to act a certain way because she feels like no matter what she says and does, she's going to get attention from guys and she's going to be able to have a boyfriend. But how many of those guys actually stay? How many of those men actually stay in those relationships? At some point, they end up leaving because they get tired of the nonsense. They get tired of the gender war and they get tired of the I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. These females nowadays, especially the Gen Z and even you millennial women, you don't understand the damage that is being done to your dating life. You just have no clue.
How can you be sitting at the house all day and doing all the housework?
Appreciate that, JX. If you sitting at the house all day, you need to be doing something. You don't need to be on Facebook. You don't need to be on Instagram. You need to be doing something around the house. You need to be in a partnership. These women claim that they're in a partnership. Why don't you actually be a partner and partner yourself in that kitchen and cook? Partner yourself in that house and make sure it stays clean and you don't have to go and re-clean the house every day because you don't clean up behind yourself. Why don't you have a system for how you keep the house clean to where you don't have to go back and forth to re-clean the house every morning? Now, that doesn't mean that men who work shouldn't clean up behind themselves. Yes, if you're not a messy person, you're going to clean up behind yourself. I'm not saying that you should work and be lazy when you get home and just throw things around all over the place. Don't wash your dishes and your utensils or your cups. You should absolutely do that. But if you are a stay-at-home girlfriend, or even to you lazy stay-at-home wives, because there's a lot of you're always on YouTube and other platforms, you lazy wives who sit at home and you're always on a live stream or you're always in a chat room or a comment section somewhere. You got all this advice, but your life don't match the advice. You need to be doing something around the house. Make it easier for your guy. Because I know some of you women probably don't even respect the men you're with. You're with them out of convenience. You're with them because you have gotten complacent and you just want to be with somebody and he's willing to work and you're not. So that's how that relationship works. If you had it your way, you would have left them a long time ago. But because you don't want to work, you sit up there and you want to complain. You want to complain. Instead of making making the situation better by keeping the house clean instead of allowing the house throughout. And you know what's crazy? Is that you got a lot of single women out here. You got a lot of single women out here, man. That's what's crazy. You got a lot of single women out here. And they're struggling when it comes to relationships. They are struggling. They're struggling. But you got women who are in relationships complaining about having a man that works. Having a man who's willing to go to work all day, probably working overtime. And all he wants you to do is keep the house clean. But you don't even want to do that. You want to call people slow because they don't agree with your slow logic. That's why a lot of these women don't understand why they're getting cheated on or why they get left for another woman, because you don't have the qualities that it takes to keep a man. That's why you keep losing them. A lot of Western women, they're losing men. They're not gaining men. They're losing them. And they're losing them because they think that there's always going to be another man that they're going to be able to get with. They always think that. But there's a lot of women in the dating market that's going to tell you differently. There's a lot of women right now that's in the dating market. They've been single for a while. They thought that they were going to be able to find somebody. But that side chick energy that they have is keeping them from being in long-term relationships. It's keeping them from being remarried. And then they want to blame certain ideology labels as to why they can't get a man. And you got the simps doing the same thing. You got the simps that's sitting up there wanting to blame men on social media for why there's an overwhelming number of women who are single in the dating market. A lot of those women are Gen Z and Millennial and Gen X. You even got some of these boomers that are single and ain't mingling, okay? They can't keep a man either. A lot of damage is being done. The dating market is oversaturated. And yes, men have the options like crazy. Men got so many options, it's crazy. You got women leaving their husbands and boyfriends because they want to be single for the summer. And what they don't understand is once that is over and they think that they're going to be able to find somebody to be in a relationship with, that's not how it's going to work. That's not how it's going to work. A lot of you females are going to be taking a lot of L's this year. You don't have the qualities. Listen, you got women who are in long-term relationships. They ain't been single for a long time. And they were able to mask the fact that they were lazy. They were able to mask the fact that they are dysfunctional, that they might be a little crazy. They were able to mask that by being in a long-term relationship. You have women now leaving those long-term relationships. And now they can't hide the fact that they don't have those qualities anymore. You got women getting divorced. They ain't been single in years. Now all of a sudden they're on the dating market. They were able to hide their flaws by saying that they were married or they're in a relationship. But what happens when these women date again and these men see that these women are not the most cleanly? Their house is not clean. They go to these women's house dirty, car dirty, right? And they're like, man, I can't, I'm not going to wife up no chick. Like, look how dirty she is. And he has to tell you that. And then you want to come to his house and dirt up his house. He keep his place tidy, and you want to come over there and mess up and eat on dishes and don't. You know what I'm saying? You wonder why you still on a date mark. You wonder why your relationships don't last very long, because you don't have the qualities. You're not helping him do anything. You got women that talk about they were married for 10 years. They were in a relationship for 10, 15 years. And then they get out that relationship and they start dating again. And the men that they're dating aren't going to put up with what the guy that they were with put up with. That's not going to happen.
Women keep shaming blue-collar work.
Appreciate that, Joe Smith. They shame it because they want a man who has like a glamour job, like an entertainer, somebody that they see on social media. They want a socialite boyfriend. A man with a blue collar job, even though there are high paying blue collar jobs, they're so ignorant they don't understand that. Right? They don't understand that. But it'd be their loss,